So I have a Sandersides theory for you guys. All of the sides, Patton, Logan, Virgil, Roman, Remus, Janice, all died before they went into Thomas's mind. They all died at a very young age. Since Patton is morality, Patton would have had to die saving someone's life. Logan, since he is logic, he would have had to die because of some logical reason. Virgil, since he is depressive anxiety, he would have had to die because of suicide. Roman and Remus, since they are creative prince twins, they would have had to die because of some traumatizing thing. And they're princes, so they would have had to been in a castle. Janice, being deceitful and lying, he would have to be innocent to become deceitful lying. Now, let's get on to their deaths. Starting off with Virgil's, because in some Sandersides videos, I see Thomas wearing a choker while he's in Virgil cosplay. And that indicates to me that Virgil would have hung himself in his room. Virgil's death note, or suicide note, would say, I'm sorry, guys, my depression and anxiety is getting too much for me. Just know that it's not your fault. And he would have hung himself right then and there. Roman and Remus are next. Roman would have had to have some head injury happen to him. So I'm guessing that when Roman and Remus were playing outside or in the halls like they normally did, Roman accidentally ran into knight armor and the entire body landed on his head, thus causing him to have a concussion, loss of blood, and die in a coma. Remus would have had to run away after he heard the news that his brother died and went to go to his grave and escape his mother, who was going to beat him but got hit by a car. Janice, being deceitful and lying, he would have had to die of innocence, so he would have probably died either because of a car accident that wasn't his fault, like some distracted driver hit him, or a gun accident, like a little sibling found a gun and shot him by accident. And I'll give off like their ages later. Next is Patton. Patton would have saved someone's life, aka he would have been a hero to that person. So Patton would go and he would be on a walk with one of his friends and he would see that this girl or this boy was getting mugged or was about to get shot. Either they gave him their money or they shot them, and this person refused to give them money, so they were about to shoot him. Patton would run up in between the gunman and the person while the gunman was still aiming towards the person with his finger on the trigger about to pull. Once he pulled the trigger, it missed the person that he was going to shoot and shot Patton. Patton would then go on to say, "You're welcome," to that person, flip off the gunman, and say, "I love you," to his friend. Then die because of the gun incidents. He would then be taken to the hospital to get fixed and have like a heart transplant, but he died before the heart could be transplanted, before he could have blood transplanted. So, the last but not least is Logan. Now, Logan's I am going more in depth with, because Logan is logic. He also doesn't like human emotions. So, I'm thinking that Logan would have had to have a master, like he would have been enslaved. And starved. And then his master would go down, abuse. Logan would have eventually fallen in love with his master, even though he starved him. And whenever Logan had the sexual urge to fuck someone, he would ask his master. He would say, he would put it in this term: Master, can I use a pillow? And the master knew what Logan meant. The master would say, oh, no, you cannot use a pillow. Just slowly jerk yourself off to get off. And that's what Logan would do. When Logan's master had the urge, he would not only abuse but rape Logan and call it love. So then Logan became emotionless after that, because he found out it's not love. He's just raping me and using me. So I might as well just give up on any hope of him actually loving me. One day he starved to death. One day in the basement, one morning, he was so hungry that he just died. His master used his corpse as his fuck toy. So, in Thomas's mind, Logan is emotionless and calls human emotions disgusting. Patton loves human emotions. Roman is the embodiment of love, because he was loved by his mother and by his brother. He loved his mother and his brother. He hated his father for abusing him. He was loved by everyone except for his father and bullies at school for being creative and out there and for being a prince. So, Roman calls people names because that's what he's learned to do. He's learned, oh, so this is how people show love and affection. So he calls people names to show his love. Virgil is very anxious and is just like, and you sometimes see him scratch his upper arm. And I'm thinking that in his past life he cut. So he would have scars there from his past life. So he would scratch. And I'm also thinking that since Roman had head damage, when Remus barely even tapped him with his thing, with his weapon, it made Roman pass out because of that. And Remus knew that would happen, so he lightly tapped him on the back of his head. Oh, God, this is going to be a long video. since they all met up in Thomas's mind at a young age, their ages would have been 9 through 10. Not 9 through 10, 9 through 12. Not 9 through 12, 9 through 13. Patton being the oldest, being 13. Virgil being the youngest, being 9. Janice being 10. Roman and Remus being 12. And Logan being 11. And Thomas, not knowing their past lives, noticing that if Patton was hit by a katana star, he wouldn't bleed. He wouldn't bleed at all. He would have a little bit of blood come out, but not that much, because he lost more than half of his blood in the shooting that happened. Thomas would then go on to find out that Patton died via shooting, Virgil died via hanging himself, Roman died because of blood loss and head trauma, Remus, hating loud noises, died because of a car crash. Janice, hating loud noises, died because of a gun accident or car accident. And Logan, not eating, overworking himself, and being emotionless, raped, abused, and tortured his entire life by his master until he starved to death at age 11. He found out all of these deaths in one day on the news. He heard their names, summoned them, and said, "Is this true?" And they did not deny it. He even looked to Janice and asked, "Are they lying?" And Janice was just like, "They're not lying. I even died because of gun violence." And thus, now Thomas, knowing their backstories and their pasts, understands them more. Patton, knowing full-heartedly that Logan will not love him the same, and thinking, "This is stupid, why am I even trying?" finds out that Logan loves him as well. It's just he gave up on human emotions when he was raped and abused and tortured by his master. Therefore creating the emotionless Logan that we all know. Therefore creating the morality that we know. Therefore creating the creative twins that we know. Therefore creating the deceitful lies that we know. Therefore creating the depressive anxiety that we know. Thus creating Thomas's sides. But that's just a theory, a fan theory. Bye. I hope I didn't make you cry.